All right, so statistically, what is the current national demand for CTG products? And how much of that demand do you currently meet?
We're currently dancing just about at 1%. Because these are items that are movable items. They are items that you buy on a regular basis. I want to assume an average man would buy in 1 year, on the average about 10 boxes, on the average, if not more. On the average about probably 10 singlets also. So we're only just dancing in about 1% of what the market is asking for.
I understand the fact that you're not currently meeting the market demand. I mean, you said 1%. Does that discourage you from considering going into export?
No. We believe in starting from home. Yes, going forward, our future plan is to export. But we need to also make this product available in Nigeria and show Nigerians that we can actually do it. That it's possible to produce these items locally. Because this product we're producing, even though produced in Nigeria, is exportable. Because we have been able to meet the international standard of this production. And exporting out of Nigeria definitely is one of our key projects on ground right now. But again, we wanted to start from showing ourselves that we can do it. We are ready tomorrow if we have the necessary resources to begin the export market.
Now, which of your products enjoys the biggest market or brings you the greatest returns?
Wow. I would say the boxers, the singlets, the jersey wear, the caps, the t-shirts, and the regular office shirts. These products are not dependent on supply. The open market absorbs as much quantity that you can supply the market.
That suggests to me you don't need a marketing department.
Well, we need a sales department because the products are readily available in the market. Either we supply the market finds its way into Asia and still buys. So it's a ready market for these items.
How much competition are you up against? Or is this a monopoly?
Not at this time, no. We don't have much competition. I would say there are no competitions at all, at least not in the open market with our production. But it's encouraging to have other people become players in the industry because the sector is quite big and Nigerian consumption rate is high.
So tell me about your installed capacity and your current production capacity.
We have capacity installed at this point, about 300 installed capacity, which means the equipment we have on ground, in the size of the factory, we can actually accommodate about 300 people working at a time, which is the first shift, so to speak. Then in the second shift, you can also accommodate about 600 people. At a short shift, we'll be having at least work in this place. In the same hour of 24 hours, about 900 people, which means a high volume turnout of products, different kinds of products at the same hour, which definitely at that point would have been able to really reduce the cost of production to a really, really bearable minimum level.
Can you give me a pictorial sense of the CTG, the entire CTG value chain in Nigeria, and where exactly in that chain do you play?
It starts from the growing of the cotton seed, which Nigeria is good in. Nigeria grows cotton, then from there it moves to the textile, the ginning end, and then it goes to the textile end. From textile it comes to garment. From garment it goes to the open market. So from the beginning to the end, we have it, the value chain is available here in Nigeria, only if we can tap into what we have. And as we continue in this production line, before now most of the textile industries didn't have demand because the garment aspect of the value chain was not available, or most of the factories have shut down in production. So it affected the textile end because the textile end based their demand on the garment end. It's what the garment end demands from the textile end that they would also produce. And because more people were demanding just Ankara and Guinea, the textile industries that are currently available focus more on that. But the equipment could actually still do more than that if we have more people in the garment end, which is the end of the value chain. So in this value chain, for me, the garment end is the most critical and most important because that's where the finished product is actually seen. That's what actually gets into the open market. That's what actually translates to employment also, and translate into the job creation that we'll see. Yes, of course, the textile end also requires a lot of workforce. But at the garment end, actually you see the end story of what the fabric will look like, the design that it can come out. Then you can actually appreciate the textile more when it's produced into garment.
So which is the weakest link in that entire value chain?
The weakest end is garment. That's where interventions is really required. But again, government needs to give intervention to players that are ready. And at this end, we can actually, this is where we can see that at least, yes, demand on foreign exchange can actually be reduced.
Obviously, you have a national market. Tell me, which part of the country do you enjoy the biggest market?
Obviously, Lagos. But we're not limited to that. We're working in canvassing more in other aspects of Nigeria. But of course, the commercial market is available here. People from the north, from the east, sometimes come into Lagos to buy.
Based on where you are now, how soon would you be ready for expansion?
We're ready as quickly as we get what we need. We need to invest more because mass production is what we're doing. And when you're doing mass production, you are limited by the installed capacity. So as much as you can install, so also can you produce. We're still limited even as we're producing. Like I said, we're just covering about 1% of the available market to us, which is not good enough. It means we're still losing money. It means there's still ample opportunity to meet the demand. Which means if we cannot even meet our local demand, how then are we going to be able to focus on exporting, which is one area that we're looking at and very profitable too.
So you might not be as pressured to join the call for a production hub as many others in the fashion industry.
Well, what we're doing is not necessarily fashion. We are doing garmenting. Garmenting is what the entire world is clothed in. What we're doing is not necessarily tailored to a specific gender, neither tailored to a specific origin. It's a global product we're focusing. We're producing items that can be exported to the US, can be exported to Europe, can be used within Africa, not knowing who is going to eventually wear some of these apparel. But for fashion, they produce to specification. They produce to a design. And a customer usually have to ask for a particular design for them to produce.
What informed your heading to the stock market?
We're registered as, our corporation now is a PLC. We've converted from limited. We started as a limited company. Now we're a PLC company. We're listing by introduction on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Now, 4 years ago, we started thinking, what's the way forward? What's the future of this sector? What's the future of this company? Well, I am one person who believes in when you establish a business and the potential is good and very viable, it's not supposed to be tied to the founder's apron. You must allow the business to grow by itself and the business to have its own future. So in converting to PLC from limited, is to enable several investors come in and see that this sector is both sustainable, profitable, and quite viable. And it is not limited to the initial founders alone, because when you talk about garmenting, it's a global business.
No doubt, in terms of numbers, Nigeria has what you can call manpower. But based on your experience in this industry especially, would you say the quality of manpower that we have is adequate?
No. Even though we have available workforce, but most of the workforce also are not yet fully skilled in garment production. On our own end, we took the low skilled and we made them into skilled labor by training them from the scratch what they're expected to do. Yeah, some of them come in with a background of tailoring, but we fine-tune their skills to meet the production expectation.
What are your major challenges?
Clearly, not enough available skilled labor. We don't have enough, but in our own case, we train. So we don't even limit ourselves by if a staff, a skilled labor have that experience or not. We're able to train you from the beginning to the end because we have the technical know-how in-house, and we have a training unit that takes you through the stage by stage of what is required. Our workforce, the training we give are specialized training. In other words, not one single person does a full production of an apparel by himself or herself.
What's the current staff strength?
Right now we have about 150, even though the installed capacity could take about 300 at one shift.
In terms of requirement for expatriates, how many expatriates do you have here?
We have 5 already on ground. At this current installed capacity, we don't need more than 10.
Does that mean in the entire country you couldn't find people who could do the same job?
Yes. You know, in garmenting, what we're doing is a global product. We're trying to do here, and we're doing global production. We're producing items that can be available everywhere in the world. Items that can be produced in Nigeria, sold in Nigeria, or sold abroad, which means there is a standard that we must meet. And in Nigeria, because there are no garment manufacturers up until this moment, or the skill to do garmenting, consumer garmenting, is not there for us. We're only just bringing our people up.
What is the current foreign exchange earning potential of the CTG industry in Nigeria?
CTG, particularly the garment end, because that's what can be exported. I don't think anybody else wants to export lace. The aspect of CTG that can actually bring in the foreign exchange is the garment end, the finished apparel. And the potential of the forex that we could bring in runs into billions of dollars if we're able to actually put in the right investment into this sector. It runs into billions of dollars because everywhere in the world, retailers of apparel are looking for manufacturing units. And there's no reason for Nigeria not to be one of the manufacturing units supplying the global market.
In the agricultural sector due to limited processing and preservation capacity. This results in high food prices and food importation with its attendant effects on the nation's foreign reserves. To enable Nigerians optimize the benefits from the country's vast agricultural products such as cassava, oil palm, rice, tomatoes and others, the Bank of Industry has launched a 5 billion naira cottage agro-processing fund, the CAP Fund. Customers can access the fund to establish plans to process our various agro-produce into food products or intermediate raw materials for industries at a single-digit interest rate of 9% per annum. For more information on the CAP Fund, please visit www.boinigeria.com/capfund. Bank of Industry, developing Nigeria's agro-processing industry through the CAP Fund.
It's quite fascinating to realize that Crown Natures PLC is only able to cover just 1% of the market demand for garments in Nigeria. That deficit throws up some crucial points. More entrepreneurs are needed in the sector. The potential for job creation is humongous, and it can be a viable foreign exchange earner for the country if maximized. And what's more, the Bank of Industry is ever ready to support both existing and new entrants into the industry. Reach out to them today. For other entrepreneurs, remember you can apply for a loan online. All you have to do is download the BoI SME Loan app from the Google Play Store and get going. You'll also do well to visit their website at boi.ng or any of their branches closest to you to engage them further. Also, I'm available at KAY Alayande on Twitter if you want to know more. Do remember that the Bank of Industry supports micro, small, medium and large enterprises alike. They're your best bet in development finance. That's all on the show today. I'm Kayode Alayande. Bye now.